Oh, I actually made it on time. I don't believe it. Hello, everybody. There's nobody here. Oh, wait, there's two people here. Hello. Hello. I actually went on time today. Is that hard to believe? Hello, people. I don't have any chat yet, so until it comes up, I can't see you. Hello, Essie. How are you? Hello, Pamela. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Hey, May. How are you? I didn't know. May, are you going to stream today? Hi, Rebel. I know your name. Hang on. I'm looking at it. I want to say it's Christina. Hi, Becky. Hi, Melinda. Oh, yay. I was not sure that people would actually come. I know Carolyn is live right now. Hi, everybody. Happy Easter to one and all. Okay, good. Yeah, I noticed that Deb wasn't on today. I couldn't find anything posted. I got up 2 hours early to go to his show, and because I'm a mod, and nobody was there. So I didn't know what was going on. Oh, okay, Susie. Um, well, I don't want her to have to do that. I mean, she should be able to stream too. I get it that people go back and forth. Hi, Melody, and hi, Kenny, and hi, Charlotte, and hello, Sabrina. Thank you for that lovely note, Sabrina. And Mia Bear, and everybody. I got Happy Mail to show. Oh, okay, all right. Ah, hello, Christian. Yay, 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 yay! I'm so glad you're here. Um, and is it Christian or Christy Ann or just Christine? Hi, everybody coming in. Hi, Kimmy. I'm getting all wiggled and waggled. I'm noticing I'm very green today. Um, oh, it's so wonderful to see everybody. First one. It is Christian. Okay, good. So it's like the uh I want to say it's German. I'm trying to think of Molman. Um, thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to read chat, and I've got the camera turned all the way to me. So hello, Wendy. I also have a mystery that I need to solve today, everybody, and I don't know what it is. Well, I mean, I know what the mystery is. What I don't know is what the answer is, and hoping you're going to tell me. Um, uh, as uh, uh, as you know, uh, my voice is acting up with spring. It's not any better today since the sun is back out and the trees are back throwing pollen. Uh, oh, how wonderful, Charlotte! That's wonderful that you got a chance to talk to them. I love that. That's the thing about holidays is, we all get in touch on the holidays. And why don't we get in touch more often? That's what I want to know. Why don't we take the time other days? Yes, yes. Sabrina, I am dying here. With the between the rain that creates the mold and the trees that create the pollen. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I'm just glad that I can talk at all. Uh, Good morning, everybody. Hello, Shannon. Beautiful Shannon. It's already Monday morning for you there. I guess that's yeah. I guess you are. I uh you're in. I want to say you're in Malaysia. Is that right, Melody? I have your address, but I don't. I don't remember what it said. Oh, thank you, Cajun, for subscribing. Um, yeah. Yes, there is that, Christiane. There is that. Um, that if we get in touch more often, we'll argue. That is definitely the case in my family. If I talk to my sister, well, I haven't. I actually haven't spoken to my sister since 2015. So she did something that pissed me off, and I'll not forgive her for it for a while. Yes, yes, you did, Cajun. Uh, well, I'm glad that you are here. And hello, Becky and Steve Johnson. Although I know it's Becky because Steve doesn't call Hank. And hello, Shara. And oh, it's so wonderful to see everybody. Oh, look at. Okay, good. I want to show you what I got. All right, here's what we're going to do today. You remember that I had set up the experiment where I was testing out the Daniel Smith watercolor ground on regular paper to see if it made a difference. And I was wanting to do it with just your basic, um, uh, where are they? Your basic inexpensive marker. Because you know what I want to do. I want to make art accessible to everybody. So this week, I demonstrated the real watercolors, real gouache, and all of that in my video. And today, I want to do it with just your $9.99 set of 60 double-ended markers that will do this if you use watercolor ground. And this time I came prepared. This is my book. It's my sixth book, Flowers of Wonder. And we're going to do the cover image. Because I always do the cover image. That way I have a guide because I happen to have a very talented colorist who colors my covers. And so she gives me direction. Her name is Virginia. And so I used the Daniel Smith, and all I did, and I'll show it to you. Here it is. And this uh, was a wonderful gift that I received from Anonymous. I believe it was either Anonymous or Deb, and I have to look in I actually have a log of Happy Mail and who sent it, and I usually try and put a little label on it, but I forgot. Um, uh, Wendy, it should. The reason why I chose the Daniel Smith, and I'll get to that in just a sec. Uh, there they are. All right. The reason why I chose the Daniel Smith, excuse me, was because Anne over at A Colorful Life had used um, three Okay, Charlotte, I put it on with a cotton ball. Had used 3 different kinds. She used, I think she used gesso. She used the golden, and she used the Daniel Smith. And the Daniel Smith gave the best result. So that's why I put the Daniel Smith on my wish list. But now I will say that this is about $11, but it goes a very long way. And it is, so you can see, it is liquid. And all I do is make sure that there's some on the lid, and then I just took it from the lid. I didn't have to dip anything or anything like that. I just used a cotton pad that I got at the dollar store and folded it up. I chose the least puffy end, and just went up and down and up and down and up and down like this until I had it all coated. And you can see it when you're putting it down. You can see how wet it is, and you can make sure that you don't miss any of your spots. And yeah, you could use a sponge, or you could use one of those the brushes that they make for painters for the corners when you're painting like trim on a house, those spongy ones. You could use a regular brush, although I would not advise using a good brush, mostly because it it's it gives a feeling like sandpaper, like a very very light grit of sandpaper. All right, but so that's what we're gonna do today. Is we're gonna experiment with this, but let me put these to the side. But before we do that, and so everybody sees, this is my cutting board mat, that I cut down to go in my books. Uh, no, I don't, Melody. I don't have any other gesso or the golden or anything like that. To be perfectly honest with you, it had never really occurred to me that you could use water-based markers this way until I saw Anne do it. And it doesn't, well, see, uh, Cajun, I don't actually know because I don't really have any other than in instruction books that I now have. I don't have any watercolor paper, so I don't really know what watercolor paper is supposed to feel like. I can tell you that it feels gritty. The Yeah, exactly, Deb. The cheap spring brushes from any place like the dollar store or Dollar General would work great. Uh, it says to let it cure, Mia Bear, for 24 to 48 hours before you color on it. And the way that I kept it from buckling is the way that I always do, and that is I used the binder clips on it. I bought these also at the dollar store. For those of you who might not know, this is something that I'm working on. This is my oh, look, guys, I did the eyes. I mean, I did the little highlights in the eyes. Uh, this is a work in progress, and it's in my Etsy shop. And the links to my Etsy shop are down below, as are all my books and all my pages. They're also on Amazon. The dragons are new, So they're only on Etsy, but all the flowers. So binder clips. Yeah, don't use it with heat. No, absolutely no heat. And yeah, yeah, gesso. Exactly, exactly. So the paint flows on with the gesso without going down into the paper, and that's a problem. I think that the Daniel Smith at least lets it go into the paper more slowly. Uh, thank you, Victoria. Yeah, he's been very popular. He got very popular once I started to color him. And then, of course, this is one of the other dragons that are in the shop right now. There are several others. They are on their way toward my next book. And if Rochelle happens to watch, Rochelle suggested that I do a best of book. I wanted to let her know that I have, in fact, started to pull all the data so I know exactly how many of each individual drawing have sold. And I'm picking the top 5 from at least the first 6 books uh, to make a best of book. But let's get on to Happy Mail. Now, some of you might have seen this earlier this week. I had seen it a couple of times, but I honestly thought you had to order it from Poland. And in fact, you do. Apparently, you do. Uh, this beautiful book arrived in my mail last Monday, and I will tell you that it was sent by Christian Molman, who is here in chat, and it is absolutely fabulous. And I will tell you that I won't read all of it, but I will read part of the little note that came with it. And of course, it says, whoops, and Christian, I am going to edit that out right away. Everybody here will pretend that they did not see it. I will have that edited before this thing posts. And I apologize. I did not realize it was there. Her address. Okay. So, says this is the umpteenth time, which is a word that I love. I love that. That I forgot the card, which was supposed to accompany this book. Now you need to make do with this page. Sorry. At any rate, she goes on to say she was ordering a copy of the Norwegian version of Phantomorphia. And this book was suggested, and it made her think of me. So she ordered it. She had it sent to her mom's address in Germany because apparently they didn't ship to the United States. And then so it went from where she ordered it from the Norwegian version to Germany, then to her in Canada, and then to me. So this book is world it's has traveled its way around the world. Now she says that it might not be the most elaborately drawn dragons, but it sure is a world traveler and has some educational value. Now, I saw a flip through of this just the other day on another channel, and I am so glad because they failed to mention the really fun parts of this book, which means that I get to do it. Now, this book is called Dragons Above Krakow. Now, apparently, you can get this book, um, I believe, on Amazon, um, but you might have to look for it. And yeah, postage from Canada. Yeah, exactly. So when I think of all the postage that got paid on this book, I mean, wow. Thank you, Christiane. That is dedication. That is dedication. But here are you. This is a book that you absolutely have to look at to appreciate. Um, it, of course, it tells you about Krakow, and that is what it is about. And Krakow is, of course, in. I want to say it's Pol. Is it Poland now, or is it uh, or is it Slovenia? Who knows? Or is it Croatia now? Book Depository has or had it. Yes, they did too. Okay. Um, the beauty of this book is in its sometimes subtle humor and the fact that it really does tell you about the city itself. And uh, so, it's talking about this clock tower, which is, it says, it is not by accident that the two towers of St. Mary's Church in Krakow are of an unequal height. Okay. The North Watchtower was higher to provide a better lookout. So that's that one. The trumpeter's call announced the closing and opening of the city gates and warned the city of fire or enemy attack. Now it is played every hour and ends abruptly, supposedly to commemorate the trumpeter shot dead mid note in 1241 by the Tartar Tartar, Tartar. Unfortunately, this exciting legend only dates back to the 1930s. So, uh, in the 1930s, but now there's dragons on both towers. And then, of course, the next page is it's talking about how bagels. Uh, did you know that bagels, familiar favorites from New York and Toronto to London and Sydney, originated in Krakow in the Middle Ages? The records show that Queen Jadwiga liked to eat them. Today, some 150,000 bagels are sold in Krakow every day. Now, this is what is so funny. Here we have this woman, right, who's obviously flirting with the handsome man holding the rose. In the meantime, the dog is terrorizing all of the pigeons who each have their own um, bagel. And, she's flirting with him. And here in the background is a dragon inside the shop drinking a latte or drinking a milkshake. I mean, it's just adorable. It's such fun humor. And, oh, good. All right, good, good, good. You guys are finding it. All right, here's another one about a this is apparently an art piece, which is actually in the main square. It's called Eros Bendato by Igor Mitaraj. And I apologize to all of the people. Yeah, sculptures by the Polish artist can be seen in many European cities. So, and I had to look for the dragon in this one, and it's actually up here on top of the building. And of course, there's pigeons everywhere, which I think is a Jill. What do you mean you're without much sound? Turn it up. Turn up the volume. Am I loud enough? Can anybody hear me? Okay, enough of that. Uh, and all right, so I had to look for the dragons here, and here they are down here in the crowd, along with this little girl, and they're all looking at the white lady. Um, okay, thank you, May. Um, and of course, the dragon having tea. And apparently, this is the first original Gothic building was replaced with a Renaissance one. Okay, so this is the 13th century market stalls. I'm looking for the other funny ones. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we have this beautiful statue, right, of the guy on the horse and the dragon in the tree. And what are these people taking a photograph of? A roller skating pigeon. Oops, sorry. Oh dear. Hang on. Coffee spillage. Okay. Managed to fix it. Um, anyway, okay. Here's the other one. Subtle humor. This is a museum. These are priceless tapestries, right? The guards on duty. What is the dragon doing? What is he wrapped in? he's wrapped. He's wrapped in. No, not on the book. Not on the book. He's wrapped in one of the tapestries, and he's got a little dolly. I just think that is so cute. Sorry. And in the meantime, the look on the guard's face is like, well, what are we going to do about this? Anyway. Oh, and here's one that I just saw today. I thought it was so funny. Um, Little girl holding the dragon, and I really didn't look any further than that until I realized that the fire breathing dragon had set the woman's dress on fire. Ah, I'm sorry. I have just a strange sense of humor, I guess. And little dragon playing splash in the splash pool with the kids. And of course, everybody's running from the dragon looking in the window. And all the little kids are looking up, going, "Oh, that's cool." Anyway, apparently there's a room where it's uh there's a book that's actually written on the walls, or poetry. That's it. An example of concrete poetry, poems that you can see shaped as visual compositions. Anyway, I absolutely love this book. And I really, I really, really appreciate the gift. Thank you so much, Christiane. I just love everything about it. And every time I look at it, I see something new. Like this is this huge swath that apparently it's called the Krakow Common, and it's one of the largest open space meadows in any European city. And so there's a three-headed dragon. Better to be able to view the artworks all up and down the walls. Okay. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous book. Oh, that's so sweet, Kenny. Well, hi, Kenny's granddaughter. Oh, and I love this. And of course, the dragon is looking pretty startled because its nest of eggs is up here, but this little girl has one of them. And so That, I think, is why the dragon is looking a little startled. All right, so that is absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Um, uh, and yes, Christiane, I absolutely love it. I really do. Uh, I want to say, here's another. I didn't know if I should continue flipping through it or not, but I think I kind of want to. Here is another one with a little girl feeding the swans, and look who's trying to get a bite there. Got his little mouth open. Oh, there's where it went. It went on the cover of this one. Fortunately, it's on the covers, and the covers are coated. So then we have this beauty. It's too big to fit in here. I cannot get my camera up high enough to get the whole thing in. But this is the mystery. This arrived, and this arrived with it, and it came from Book Depository, but it was ordered from Book Depository by Amazon. But it doesn't say who it's from. And I could not find any information at all as to who this might be from. Thank you to whomever that was. You have no idea how much I appreciate that, given that I am out of both sugar and milk. Okay. Um, let me get the glare off of that. Sorry. So this is, now, I do not have, this is uh, one of the poster books from the smaller Pictura series. So I have several of these small books. I have the dragons, the enchanted forest, the fairies, and the nature, which is otherwise known as hedgerow. And what makes a Pictura book, of course, is that it's like a panel, and you color the panel. It's about, I'd say, it's 8 inches tall, and these things are 11 by 14. So this, by the way, for all of us, and I have noticed that there are a lot of us, May in particular, who have a few of the Jane F. Hankins books on our wish lists. This is the size of Jane's books, which explains why they're $49 or $39 each. This is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I know that we all saw this over on Deb's channel. It is why I put it on my wish list. You all know that I am a lover of all things botanical. This is an amazing gift. I would love to know who to thank. And wait, did somebody say? I would love to know who to thank for this. I really would. It once again, it came not saying, "Hi Gary, hi Kim living good, hi Pickle and Katie and Caroline, hi, and thank you for filling in, and hi Sandy, I didn't see you. What is the name of the book and who is the artist? The name of this book is Botanicals. It's called Botanicals, and the artist is Daniela Jaglenka Terrazini. How's that? Terrazini. Daniela Jaglenka Terrazini. And yeah, but if you go into Amazon and you type in Pictura poster books, they'll pop up. Uh, absolutely, absolutely. And okay, so and then on the back of each one, it tells you what all the flowers are. So, for instance, this one are alliums. And then there's 5 different varieties of alliums. There's chive, there's giant onion, wild garlic, Chinese chive, and Bulgarian honey garlic. So basically, all of your garlics and chives and things like that put out these pretty little flowers. Paper is thick and simply, I mean, it is, um, it's easily 80, yeah, I think it's 80-pound cardstock. I mean, but not 80 pounds like we think of it. I'm trying to see if it says. It doesn't. It's not watercolor paper, but it feels kind of like that. It's that same thickness. So yeah, it's good paper. Okay, so that was the alliums. These are the clematises, and there's, it tells you all the different clematises. These are the lilies. So you get all the different kind. It tells you, like, that one is the checkered lily, the tiger lily, the arum lily, and the white lily. We all recognize these, yes? And so these are, yeah, these are the chrysanthemums. There's also the oxide daisy and the, yeah, okay, so these are all, there's 3 kinds of chrysanthemum and a daisy. Yeah, I really like it too. It's gorgeous. Those were the peonies. I love peonies. And Sweet Dreams Robin. Hi, Robin, by the way. Sweet Dreams Robin. These are the passion flowers. And I love the fact that they put a bird in. So these are the dahlias. Always one of my favorites. These are the orchids. These are the poppies. These are the water lilies. See, now these I don't have to look at. I know what these are. These are the roses. Yep. And these are the tulips. Parrot tulips, I believe. Yep. Those are the tulips. And look at that beautiful snail down here at the bottom. And I love the detail. So there are I believe there are 20. Let's see. Let's count them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, There are 12. So yes, there are 12. And they are absolutely gorgeous. Well, it says right here on the front. Okay. I need somebody to claim this. I mean that, not just anybody, the person who actually sent it, please. If you could just let me know who you were, even if it's privately, that would be wonderful. Uh, that is just it. An inexpensive book can then turn out to be super duper expensive. Okay, by having to pay ship it all around. So that is just amazing. Uh, Me? Yeah, kinda, sometimes. I didn't know Christine is a encyclopedia or botanical encyclopedia. Um, okay, I don't know what that means. I'm gonna pull a Dee Dee. I'm gonna say I don't know. I don't know what that means. Okay. These are gorgeous, and I am so thrilled. Absolutely so thrilled. Oh, hey, I left nothing on the screen for you to look at. And I love that Book Depository does this. But I thought it was pretty funny because it says order placed by Amazon. So unless Amazon is sending me things off my wish list, which I cannot even begin to imagine, uh, I know she got the 60 set. I watched the whole show, and I was just like loving all of those colors that she has. But I actually I can mix. I almost put the 60 set on my list and said, Christine, don't be ridiculous. Uh, you know, you can mix those colors. Yeah, Amazon does own Book Depository, so and you can order through Amazon. Oh, I do know a little bit about plants, Joey, uh, but only because I've studied them, and I draw them, uh, and so and I yeah I do know a fair amount about plants, but I miss the days when I used to have a big garden. Yeah, exactly, Jill. Exactly. Amazon uses whatever vendor has books cheaper than they do. And uh, yeah, yeah. If you go down to the very bottom of any Amazon screen, there is a list of what they own. And it will shock you. It will absolutely shock you the companies that Amazon owns, that you do business with every day, thinking, I'll never do business with Amazon. Want to make a bet? Okay. All right. So this is now I've already put my doohickey back here. Is there anybody who does not know what these are, where to get them, or how to make them? Amazon rules the world. Well, I don't think they rule the world, but they certainly had a great business idea and executed it well. All right. How to make them? Yeah. Well, I mean, Sandy, when I say how to make them, I mean, go to the dollar store, get the mat and cut it down to the right size. Because, as it turns out, I have a fresh one right here, a fresh set. So these come, of course, from the dollar store. They are chopping mats. They are 11 by 14 inches. There are 2 in a package. And I just use my kitchen shears right here. And you take one out, and I cut one of them 11 by 11, which is what you use in, for instance, your mythographic size book or mythomorphia size book. And that is this one. Right now, this one's got tape on it because I've been using it for my watercolor. And actually, if you turn it this way, it fits perfectly. And that way you don't mess up the page behind. And yeah, make sure this isn't rough, but here's what you do. Turn it over, use the smooth side that's acetate, and that way you won't indent the paper underneath either. And they all, hang on, this is a new one. I'll show you. I won't actually use this. I won't actually cut these ones, but because these are for when I get frustrated and I can't find the ones that I already made. So you have one side that's really smooth like acetate and the other side that's dull and has the texture. Now you can use this for everything. You can cut it down and use it as your page protectors. I cut one for the big book, one for the regular size books. Then for the scraps, this is the end of one. This is my, on the rough side, this is my Neocolor 2, anything that, needs a little light texture to be able to use as a palette. Then the other side is for my water brush pens to, lay the color down from the water brush or the, we're going to use it today. Well, we're not going to use it today. Just scribble it on there like that. Hit it with some water. And paint it on. So that's instantly how to turn your watercolors into into blendable water paints. Yeah, these plastic mats do a bit of hard duty in my studio. They always have, and I absolutely love them. Yeah, the Dollar Tree store is where to get them. Now they don't always have them, but more times than not, they do. Now I have invested in the Caran d'Ache mat, but I got the Caran d'Ache and spent $10 for it before I realized that this worked just as well. Absolutely just as well. So save yourself the money. Hi, Shalene. Hi, Charlotte. Durstad. Or Yerstad. Not sure which. Okay. Jeez Louise. We're 50 minutes in and I haven't colored anything yet. All right. So now I, of course, should. There we go. What I want to do is I don't want to pin it down so that I can't see my guide. And I'm only going to pin the outside edges here. And I pinned it as far as the cover. And that's just to keep it from buckling. Don't eat, little Timmy. Okay. Excuse me. I'm discombobulated. All right. What are we going to do? We're going to choose a light green and a blue green. Now this, by the way, is just a 60 set. Once again, you guys have gifted me with all of these beautiful coloring supplies. And what am I showing you how to do? I'm showing you how to make stuff using the cheap ones. But not everybody has expensive coloring supplies. And I want you to know that no matter what, you can do it with anything that you've got. So I want number 22. This came not labeled. It was, by the way, this is the CLAldridgeArt. I bought it under the CLAldridgeArt name at Walmart. I paid $9.99 for it. It's 60 colors. Is 22 the one I want? Yeah. And these are just double-ended, water-based, non-toxic markers. El Cheapo marker is what we'll call it. And once again, I have treated the paper here with the Daniel Smith watercolor ground. And we are testing out what is going to happen when we apply a brush. And hopefully I have been in focus. Now, y'all know that normally you could never get a watercolor marker or a water-based pen to move, certainly not like this. And you'll notice that I purposely paused and waited a good long time before I tried to do this. Between the time that I put it down on the paper and the time that I started to actually move it around. And look at that. Now, what I will say is that it does pick up and show the lines, for the watercolor ground. But I just think that is a I think that adds a certain amount of character to the watercolor. I do love it when an experiment actually works. Hang on a second. Let me get you down here so that you can actually see what is going on. I believe that now this is the Daniel Smith. It is about $11 for this, and I may not, you may not actually be able to see it up this close. Yeah, it looks a little blurry to me. There, that looks better. Let me, you know, I'm kind of a focus junkie. Okay. Now I'm going to have to mess with it. Okay. I am going to call that done. Whoops. I hope that's in focus. Hi, Kim T. How are you? Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I temporarily went down a rabbit hole. I believe it was about $11. Now, there are cheaper things that you can use. And at a Colorful Life tested them. I don't believe that any of them worked as well as this does. This is my second test using this. I have not been disappointed either time. So I think it's well worth it. I think that at $11, it will last a long, long time. On the other hand, Daniel Smith is one of the more expensive products out there for this purpose. So it could be less. Amazon Canada, it's $21. That is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. But this, you know, it's just to get watercolors, to get a water-based marker. I mean, think of your Crayola Super Tips, or you know, it's just exactly that kind of thing to act like this on not only paper but create space paper, and or you know, as we lovingly call it now, even those of us whose books are created on it, we call it Amazon paper. There's no way in the world you could have ever gotten water to act like this on this paper. And let me show you how I know that. We'll go back to, whoops, sorry about that. Now this is there. All right. Now, granted, this has been dry for a while. Wait. See if I, well, let's see if I can take a test page. All right, so this is a test page of untreated Amazon paper. And you can see that does absolutely nothing. Nothing. Nothing moved. And this is what it does under the Daniel Smith ground. Just absolutely amazing. Okay. So did everybody have a lovely Easter Sunday? I mean, even if you're not a particularly religious person, do you get together with your families and it's really just sort of magical. You know how I feel about water, guys. I given that I am a fire sign, I should not feel this way about water, but I do. I just love you should if you could see it from this end. I mean, it's just the blends are so fun. Yard work is important. Big difference between what? I'm sorry, Kim, I missed something. Did I miss a big difference? Oh, well, yeah, well, I could use them anyway. I could use them anyway because water uh yeah, I could have used them anyway, even in this. Yeah, I have never ever let uh Amazon paper from doing anything with water. I've always been able to work with water, even without the Daniel Smith background. I'm just showing you guys how another way to do it, including myself, obviously. But yeah, you can use anything on Amazon paper. It's a myth that the paper is horrible. It's just you have to learn to use it. That's all. And you just play with it. And that is what I love about all the different. I mean, because I would have known how to do this without Anne, and I would have been able to apply my method to it. You know, now I never peel the paper. Done a comparison of what, Elizabeth? Oh, it is. It's a gigantic difference. It is a gig. I could never use these. I could never have used these in this book this way without the Daniel Smith, because these are dye-based paints, or these water pens like this are dye-based, and they're not pigment-based, and that is the difference. So this is how you can take your dye-based markers and use them like water. I love this. That is just so amazing. Yes, Anne did. Well, she did all the different kinds of comparisons of the different mediums. I think she used golden. I want to say it was golden, like Liquitex. Liquitex. uh, golden, gesso, and the oh yes, of course. Well, yeah, but see, Elizabeth, no, there, there, there was never any issue with the paper to begin with. It's just that other books had better paper. But the paper that came with Amazon was never terrible. It was always at least 60-pound bright white paper. The problem came with the manufacturing plants. They did not always use the right paper when they made up the books. When Amazon changed over to where they then had to control with KDP, because Amazon owns KDP, they owned the company of CreateSpace, but they did not control CreateSpace. Now they have both the responsibility of the books and the manufacturing plants under KDP. So there's a greater consistency of product. So they're getting less returns, which is really good. But yes, the paper is consistently better now that it is KDP. And and but even under the old, you could still work with the paper. It was just a matter of figuring out how, how to work with the paper. I mean, I granted, it could be, it could be challenging. It could be challenging with certain mediums, but like my books, that one I just flipped through just a second ago, all of those are water mediums, and all of that is the old CreateSpace paper. And I've never peeled a page, or even without any kind of a medium. Yes, it would be printed on better paper. Yes, or well, yeah. Hopefully, it would be. It was always supposed to be. It will be printed on 60-pound bright white if you buy it now. Because that is what Amazon has told us they print our books on, and hopefully they do. That is when we create a book and upload it to Amazon for printing, that is what we're supposed to be getting. Hopefully it is what we are getting. At least, like, all of these are 60-pound bright white, the ones that I'm holding in my hands, and they always have been. But then my books went, because they're printed at the plant nearest where they're being shipped to. So, for instance, if you are in California and your books are being printed at the San Bernardino plant, then it was awful, because the San Bernardino plant was the biggest offender for using the wrong paper. The Polish plants are also terrible on the European side. Yeah, there is no stock. A book is not printed until it's purchased, and they are printed one at a time. So if the printers are, loaded with one kind of paper, and the guy doesn't change it, because they're supposed to have different paper for graphics and text. But old books, the books used to get printed on text paper instead of graphic paper. Paper, white paperback. Yes, absolutely, Sandy. And here's why. Um, and this is really true. This Daniel Wake book that I have, or sorry, Nathaniel Wake, this is printed, it's black on the back. Now, I will tell you that this is ink. This is ink. Now, not only does doing this drive up, way up, the cost of producing our books, it's also sort of pointless because that is all it does. It simply hides the fact that it's bled through. It doesn't stop it from bleeding through. And it curls the pages. I've been preaching that in my artist group for months. It's like, guys, quit doing it. Because, yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. Is that it's really, it's really. Sorry, I'm basically, I've got my brain turned, my creative brain turned off while I'm watching the chat. So having to, I'm having to read or look at the, sorry, I'm having to look at the cover for my roadmap of where to go. And the older I get, the less I can multitask. I just love how this works. Look at this. This is water, just cheap water markers. $10 at Walmart. Oh, you guys want to hear about my latest hack? It doesn't have anything to do with coloring though. But it does have to do with vacuum cleaners, which is something all of us have. Shalene, isn't this impressive? Excuse me. I saw Ann doing this and I went, oh, hot dog, I wanna try that. Love it. Okay. I was going to say, how many of you know that your vacuum cleaners have three? Most of our vacuum cleaners have three filters. Because I have one of those HEPA, it's just a dirt devil, but it's got a bunch of different filters in it, and I didn't know that. So, okay. Now, according to the roadmap, we're going to do pinks and darker pinks on that part of the flower. I'm just looking at the chat. All right. Okay, so let's pick some pinks. I would like the 34 and the 32. No, the 33. Oh, of course I can't find it. And because these don't come with any numbers, I actually took and put, there they are. I put little, I just used a little label thing and wrote it down. I did too, Kim. I did away with carpet in my house, and but all right. Well, here's where I have to admit this. Then I have been known to let it get dusty enough in the house that a vacuum cleaner is needed. What am I doing here? I have no idea. In order to, because a dust cloth won't do it. So, which of course does absolutely nothing for my lung issues. The fact that I do that doesn't help. At any rate, so what I did was I ended up getting a new furnace a couple years ago, and it's bigger than my old furnace. So I had these very expensive filters that I could not use because the new furnace pulls too much air, and it kept shutting my furnace off using these heavy duty filters that I was using. So now I have to, I guess one of the benefits is that now I get to buy these sort of cheapo filters, but I have a whole package. I had a whole case of the expensive ones. So I pulled my vacuum cleaner apart to change the HEPA filter, and they want $12 each for them at Amazon, which I think is excessive, considering that they want you to replace it once a year. Well, it's made of the same stuff that's in the filters that I can't use for my furnace. So I got busy with my wire cutters and my ingenuity, and I built a frame, and now I have a replaceable filter system for my vacuum cleaner and enough supplies to make it last for years. Uh, Not on this kind of a book, Cajun. Uh, actually, let's give that a try. Why not? After all, we are in fact experimenting. Let's give that a try. What Cajun wanted to know is if we could use wet on wet method using watercolors. And the answer is, I don't know. But we will find out. These are the Pretty Excellent watercolors. And, oops, I keep putting this plastic thing down on here, thinking that it's a good idea, but it's a beast to get off. Okay, let's try. We have, let's do this section up here, and let's pick a better brush. Water. And I don't know. I would have to say that I would not recommend it, no. Not with the watercolor ground. On the other hand, it could be I just had too much water. Remember that I'm not a watercolorist. I don't really know squat about it. I better leave off that one. But let's try the same thing without the addition of the extra water. Okay, now going for some yellow. Sorry, I've gone quiet on you. Okay, the extra water on this kind of paper really buckled it. And it will flatten back down, but look at the size of that bubble that it created. Now that is basically what, and Dee Dee explains this, what that is it's not the paint, it's the water that's causing the fibers in the paper to break down. And that is apparently, oh goody, TROLL, just what we want. Yes, thank you mods, thank you zappers. uh and that, but if you just leave it be and let it dry, it will actually, as long as you've got your paper pinned, I don't know that you can do anything about the breakdown of the fibers, but it will settle back down. uh I would say that at least that I wouldn't recommend it. Was that a really long way to get to a really simple answer? Uh, oh, no problem. Absolutely no problem. Like I say, somebody, so, it's not a word I hadn't seen before, that's for sure. Uh, okay. So now we know what colors we're going to use on that and what tools we're going to use. All right, we'll put that away and that away and the water. See, isn't it good that I'm actually prepared? I can't believe I actually had that water sitting on my desk. It's because, oh, you want to see my latest cards? Sure you do. Yeah, yeah, you do. There's my little sparkly butterfly. Now, I'm assuming that at least some of you saw my video from a couple days ago. Or yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Oh, I also, you remember when I did these? I signed each one and cut them up too. Uh, where is it? Oh, there's that one, which is a new one. It's got a little ant. I just did this one last night. And this one I did last night. So these are all the thank you cards for that'll be coming out for my birthday gifts that you guys were so nice to send, and the PayPal tip jars and all the stuff that you guys do, which are so wonderful. Um, why freak out, Shannon? Don't freak out. Mushrooms are. Do you know? And I actually shot an entire video uh, of. I don't think it was the mushrooms. I think it's another one that I'm working on. But the mushrooms one, I counted. There are 27 pencils in the mushrooms. 27 colors. I don't know why I'm not I'm not doing this right. Wait. Uh, and you'll notice it doesn't matter which end I'm using on these. It just do a bigger area. So now I'm sort of treating them the same way that I treat my ink tints. You know, when I'm using my ink tints, it's just amazing that you can do this with water on this paper. Because normally when I use water on or water-based markers, I'm straight coloring. I'm having to actually having to straight color. Now here is let's uh, uh, well actually we'll try that in a second. But what I want to up here where it's dry, this is what I want to find out. It's a long way to go to say that, Christine. Okay. This is what I want to find out. Can I put a second coat on? And if I do, will it still move? So there's the question. And the answer is, yep. So if you're coloring along and you decide that you want to add a little deeper, darker highlight some particular way or another. Now, here's another experiment. Will it lift off? Answer is yes. I am liking it. Uh, okay. Let's see how this does. I just think that's wonderful. And you could actually fade it out into nothing, really. Trying to pay attention to the time. I get so carried away that I forget and go over May's stream. I'm sure she would bop me on the head if I tried to do that, though. So does anybody know what happened to Deb today? Is everything all right? Okay. I am liking this a lot. I like it when I can make, once again, when I can make all kinds of different coloring techniques available to different people. Because if you don't have a lot of money to buy alcohol markers, or if what you've got are the Crayola Super Tips and you want another way to use them, this might be it. Excuse me. So let's see how far we can stretch that. Yeah, see, it's just seamless. And look, even though I left that one sit there, it still moves. That really is amazing. Um, aw. Well, Sabrina, thank you. And that was actually how I felt that day. And as anybody who subscribes here for very long knows, I have a tendency to, to gush about things that I like. And a new artist being born is one of the things that I like the best. And especially with the warm welcome that everybody gave you. And I love the drawing. Now, I did not ask for it, primarily because I don't I don't color people. Uh, but but just because I didn't want to color it myself doesn't mean that I can't appreciate that it is hugely meaningful. Uh, you know, Besides which, I got my hands cut. I've got my hands cut, or my work cut out coloring just my stuff. But it was a hugely meaningful piece, and it was meaningful for me too, because it spoke truth, and that's what I loved about it. It spoke truth, dreams and nightmares and memories and life, and it was beautiful. Next thing you know, we need to get you a channel. You got your own channel yet? Hi, Sammy. How are you? Happy Easter to you. Yep, that is exactly how it happens, Sabrina. That is it. It just blows your mind, doesn't it? I'll tell you what, the first time that I put a drawing out there and people colored it, and I can even show you what drawing it was, uh, it it just blew me away. Just blew me away. Actually, since I've got a close up, uh, hang on one second. Let me see if I can find it. It is. It was called Botanical Mandela number 6, and it because it was not the first one that I drew, but it was the first one that I released, and it was this one right here, which now is in another iteration. But this was the very first drawing that I made that I released to the public, and it got colored a lot. I don't know if any of you remember this, but this got colored a lot, and it launched this book, which in turn launched CLAldridgeArt. So flowers always make me happy. So yeah, I know how it feels. Okay. Yes, it is in my Etsy. It is in the it's in the Flowers and Dreams pages section of my Etsy shop. For those that don't know, I have 8 books out. The way that my Etsy shop is organized is all the if there's a down the left hand side of the screen, there is a navigation. If you scroll down, you'll see it, and it's got a section for the full coloring books, but then it's also broken down into all of the books' individual pages. So you can buy, 5 pages from each book if that's what you want, or a page from this book and another one from that book. So you can get them all. But I think it still may be called Botanical Mandela number 6, but I might have changed the name of it to Flowers Always Make Me Happy. I don't remember. But you just have to look for it. Yes, every page of every book is listed in Etsy as a separate page. And yes, it does cost me a fortune. But people like it. Okay. So now I want a lovely shade of taxi cab yellow for in here. And I am just going to color this because there's not really any point in the space is pretty small. So there's no point in using the brush on it. Although I will to catch all the empty spaces. And for those that missed it, if you look in, it was the video that I posted right before this, the one in between last week's live and this week's live. There's a link in there for Sabrina, although if somebody wants to put it in to Sabrina's Instagram. Sabrina, do you have a Facebook page or a channel or anything like that? Please feel free to put that in. Yes, we need the ring, Sammy. The ring. Andrew, the ring. Okay. You have far more patience. I only waited 9 years. And I pulled the plug, so okay. So 41. All right. This is what I want. I want to see what happens if I add some of this to the pink. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So what we're doing is experimenting with markers and Daniel Smith watercolor ground on Amazon paper. If you are coming in late or coming in now, you're not late. Well, and that is a drag. I can't actually do that, but once again, you can use your little palette, put some color down on it, and use it just like a watercolor. I love this method because you can turn, and once again, you can turn any water-based pen into a watercolor just exactly with just a piece of plastic. But I love the fact that you can get the watercolors to flow on this paper like this. All right. So now what will we experiment with? Let's try some greens further down. And then to clean it, you just clean it like that with a little paper towel. Okay, I'm going to wait for that to dry. I didn't do a very good job on that. Okay, now what is the next color that we need? Okay, that is Virginia is just so good with colors. I don't really rethink her. She's like my color guru. And actually, I like the idea of doing these. Actually, I probably should have done them in yellow, huh? Color did she use for that? Yeah, she did use yellow. Hello, Loretta. Oh, Melody. Are you having difficulties? Well, actually, never mind. That was dumb. I know what you go through with that. Just wish it wouldn't last so long. Okay. So we'll add the little yellows in there. I'm only doing about 3 at a time because even though I know I think it'll probably always move, I don't really want to push that. Okay. Right now, just trying to. Okay. She used, but I'm not going to. I am going to. No, I'm not. I am not going to change the color for the stem, but I am going to do it just a little bit differently. Now, even though now there, hey, how about that? There's another experiment to try. Let's try this. All right, now normally you cannot get two colors like this to blend together, right? So you put them down and you put them down and and you always end up with that line that that you can still see the line of demarcation. But let's see, and let's pick something that we can do it with. All right, what are the shoot, I have to figure out the colors of the rainbow. Uh, okay, so the colors of the rainbow are, there's red and orange and yellow and green and blue and purple. Okay, so we've got that. I'm tapping off the brush between each gradient so I don't mess up the colors. How about that, guys? Ooh. How about that? That is so cool. That is so very, very cool. I am liking that. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So yeah, that'll be the big one right down the center. Oh, I love that. Ooh, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it on something else. Oh, I'm thrilled with that. I like rainbows. Okay. Um, okay, so let's see here. So we'll go with red. Uh-oh. I must have put the orange back. Orange. Yellow. Green. Different blue. Since I can't find the other one. And a different purple since I don't know where the other one went either. And, whoops, wrong brush. Oh, that's fun. I'm sorry, that's just pure fun. Love it. Yeah. And well, it has to do, there is a technique to color or to water markers of any kind on any kind of paper. And like, let me choose just a different book quickly just to, but I can show you how to never pill a page. We'll pick something, okay. Let's, first off, try not to select something that's got huge spaces in it, so that way you don't have a lot of opportunity to fill the page. But the best way to not fill a page is to only color in one direction and lift between each stroke. So lift, lift, lift. What you cannot do is this. You cannot color like this with a water-based marker. It's all about letting the pen do the work. So I only color, lifting between each stroke, always on the downstroke. That way they don't end up streaky and you never pill the page. So that's how to do that. Oh yeah, I'm liking this. I am liking this a lot. This is fun. You guys, every Sunday, I just have such a good time with you. I am looking at the time. It is 3:59. May is on in 1 minute. I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you for every sale, especially this week. Things are running a little tight here in the old ship. We're not certain we're going to make it through, so without losing something. But that being neither here nor there, I want to say thank you for choosing to spend your time with me, especially on a Sunday, Easter Sunday. Stay tuned for May Brox, who is on next. And if you give me just 1 second, I will find a link to her. I will also drop in copy and because of course it's Easter. So for those of you who don't know, use the Easter egg, get a 25% discount in my Etsy shop. It's a code. And then of course, May Brox will be coming live in just a second. And there is a link to her channel if you are not already subscribed. Happy Easter to everybody. Mods, thank you for the job that you do. You are amazing people. Bye, everybody. Until we meet again, color something pretty.